Hi, I'm Danielle with Stitch and Designs. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Sew Magical Expo. So I'm teaching two classes at Sorry, I talk with my hands. I'm teaching two classes at Sew Magical Expo. The first one is on Friday, and it is the light up how to do the jelly. So this is in one of my embroidery designs I did with jelly in it. And then this is another jelly bag I did. Those are just a couple of them. And then for the class, we're making the cute Sew Magical Expo ducky. So I will be teaching, so this is a technique class. I didn't want to do an entire bag on the class because I didn't want it to pull the focus away from this technique. And plus, not a lot of people have done lights, and I didn't want to bog down somebody with like, hey, here's a new technique, and here, let me just throw this bag at you, and if you've never made that bag before, oh, my dogs are chomping on something. But if you've never made that bag before, so then you add I haven't made this, and I haven't done this, and it's just like, I didn't want to overwhelm or stress people out by throwing too many new things at them. So that's why the class is technique focused. So you need to bring in your own materials for your bag. So you can either bring in, like, this is a Linsport mini backpack. This is my sample bag that I'll fully finish this bag. You can bring in just your panel piece for the bag that you're doing. Totally fine. Or if you want to, you can bring in the entire bag, all the entire supplies for it if you want. And you can even pre-assemble most of your bag or do a lot of it at home. So let's just take the Catalina for example. I goofed, and this is technically the inside, and I put it on the outside, which I actually like it this as the outside better. But then I have to do another one for the inside. But anyway, you can assemble this panel, the inside panel, your gusset. Just leave the front panel where you want your design. It doesn't matter what bag it is. So we'll just say this one. Let's say this is finished. Don't touch this. If you're like, this is cotton woven, which for the class you need to use a non-fraying material because you're going to have raw edges on this. This one could do cotton woven because it has embroidery surrounding it. So where I cut the fabric away for the jelly and the lights to go through, the outside of it is covered by vinyl for the embroidery design. So that's pretty much the only way you can get away with doing that one. So you need to use like a waterproof canvas or a vinyl, so something non-fraying. So like this, so if you were going to add like Decovil Light, Decovil Heavy, whatever you're going to do for your stabilizer, don't add it. Do not add that. So just leave this piece alone. If you're going to put, let's say, SF101 on your waterproof canvas, because you want to add a little bit stiffer, add it beforehand. That you can do because we're going to cut away the part where the lights would go anyway. So that's fine. If you do it afterwards, it'll interfere. It could potentially interfere with your lights and everything else. So that's just my advice. So yeah, if you want to come with the bag mostly assembled or mostly made, and then you do the lights, and then you can, if we have time at the end of that particular class, sew it together, then I can, because then I'll be there in the class that I can help with. Once you get the jelly lights part done, if you want to assemble your bag, I'm there, I can help you. Even if it's outside of the class, so if it's like on Saturday or Sunday, I'll help you. Even if you don't want to do it and you only bring this part and you go home and you don't touch it for like a month or something like that, message me. I will be glad to video chat with you on Facebook for how to do this. I will again eventually be having YouTube tutorials, so then you could follow along with the YouTube. But if you're wanting to focus, like because it's the ducky, or because I'm not going to do a YouTube tutorial on the ducky, you can message me. I will help you figure it out, because I do not want anybody to be frustrated with this new skill. Because I want this, it can be frustrating, it can be daunting, it seems like it's scary, but it's really not. It gets a little confusing if you're doing it via embroidery, because then you have to like remember where jelly goes, where your fabric goes. Like the order of where stuff goes is a little different than your typical applique. So that gets a little confusing. But once you get past, if you're just sewing it down like this and then stitching it and then cutting it away, it's not super difficult. And I definitely want people to enjoy this, because this is a lot of fun when you finish your bag and you light it up for the first time. It's just like, oh my gosh, it looks so good. And you get all excited. And like, I want people to have that happy moment too, and do the happy dance and to be all excited. Like, I want people to have that too. So I don't want people to be frustrated in this. So I'd rather make sure you guys understand it and want to continue to do it. And I don't want anybody to be like halfway through it and be like, I don't like this, I can't understand this, and then just never touch it again. Like, no, like, let me help you. Like, I want to help. So if you get stuck, if after it's Sew Magical, let me know. I will be glad to help you through it. So continue to talk about jelly for that class. If you're joining me, sorry for the crinkles. The jelly and the lights are from, I got them from Weft and Warp, and Tammy was awesome enough to give me these really cool bags to put all of the kit stuff in it. Well, not everything, because some, like, you have to have a needle, so I'm not putting that in the bag because I don't want somebody to actually stab themselves. So in your kit, you get your lights. So this is the light pack for it. And then I also include batteries, so you can light it up then and there. The battery pack comes with 3 settings, so when you turn it on for the first time, it'll be solid light, it'll be fast flash, and slow flash. So it has all 3 settings, and then the 4th time you push it, it turns it off. You will be getting clear, transparent, invisible, whatever you want to call it, thread, because then it helps you add this so then you don't have the lines for the thread. So the first time that I did it, I did it with black thread. Horrible choice on my part for color. So if you don't have invisible thread, you can always use the same color as your lights for your thread, because then you won't see it as well. But because it is a solid thing, you could get the striations of where your stitching is on your lights. So that's where the invisible thread comes into play. There are a couple other goodies in that kit that I'm not going to show you because they are surprises for the people that are in that class. You get your white jelly. So I chose specifically to do white because white showcases all the colors for these guys the best. If for like this one, because it is like a pinky purple, I don't even know what color would that be. Anyway, so I would need to do like the purple color, the pink, white, maybe the blue. But even then, like this color is going to distort the color of the wire, the light wire. So white will showcase any and everything, and I have a variety of colors. I think there's green. I have like one lime green. I have some yellow, orange, super bright pink, like a hot pink, blue. I have some purples, orange. I think I said orange, red. I think that's white, and then like a super light icy blue. That one's really pretty. But I only have so many colors of each of them. So if you're in my class already, you're in my group for that class. If you like my fabric that I'm bringing, like I have a lot of variety of color choices. Like if this is white, I have a lot of color choices I could pick from. Where if you have a specific color fabric that you're using, and so you want to like coordinate that, let me know and I can set that color aside from you, because especially if you need like the lime green, I have one. So if somebody else takes it and you needed it, unless the person's nice and wants to trade, that's on them. Not so you have options to claim ahead of time, and then you get the clear vinyl for the lights to go on too. Okay, so that's a kit, and then also separate from that will be the needle to add this to it. If you're picking your bag, because you need to pick your own bag, because like I said, I didn't want to bog anybody down with throwing a new bag at them with a new technique. So I want, if you're in my class or thinking about taking this class with me, you have another week. I think the Sew Magical will close they close the classes 1 week prior to the event. So we have like less than a week. So if you're thinking about it or considering it, just go for it. That's all I can say. I tried to keep the cost of this class as low as possible. So that's partly why you're bringing in your own stuff and picking your own pattern, because I wanted to keep the cost of this as low as possible. So it's more friendly for a lot of people. And again, if you are on the fence of taking it, I am here to help you 100%. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I will help you even if it's 2 months down the road. It doesn't matter. I will be there to help. So when you're thinking about your bags, Catalina has binding bags, and this is a beefed up, like Circle Magdalena beefed up one. Awesome bags. The binding ones are honestly the easiest ones to do for getting the lights from the outside to the inside of the bag. Very easy. Definitely not like, you don't need to put you put some thought into it, but you don't have to think about it super hard, which is nice. If you are going to insert it and have a special pocket for the battery pack on the inside, like this one I did not use a grommet. I just made a little hole inside my waterproof canvas, which is my lining, and my pocket for my battery pack is directly over that hole. So you won't see that hole. So I didn't need to put a grommet. Whereas this one comes in at the very bottom of the bag on the inside. And so because that is something where you can see where the wire is coming in, I did use a grommet. And so if you are pinning me, that's part of the thing that you need to think about is what bag you're going to use and how you want it to come in. So if you want it, so it's easiest to just have a grommet in case you want to do that. And again, you can do that part when you get home. You can choose it to do it later. But you will need a 1/2 inch grommet because of this end right there. I haven't quite figured out how to put the wire in through somewhere else, and then it's really difficult to try to put this to the inside of the bag and then tack down the lights, because then you don't want to have so much of this be extra, because then you have a whole bunch of wire loose in your bag or on the inside, and it might distort the lighting. But so 1/2 inch because of this end right here. Otherwise, this could easily fit into a 1/4 inch or even smaller, but this little doodad definitely needs to have that 1/2 inch grommet. So if you want to have it come in through a grommet, bring a grommet if you want to do that part there, or you could do it at home. It is your choice. Your other options, so I'm just going to show a picture. I do not have this bag anymore. This is one that I personally did. I think it's pronounced Kavari. I'm probably messing that up, but I did this bag for a light up. And if you might have seen it around, you might not have seen it. I had a skeleton character face design right here, and then I had a piping around because it didn't use a lot of the wire, so I wanted to use more of it. And so I did piping that went around here, around the edge of the flap, and then on the back side I added the grommet so it could go inside the bag into a pocket. That is an option. That one gave me a big headache trying to figure out how to get it from point A to point B to point C to point D. So it was interesting to say the least. That was a little more complicated because it was on the flap. I wouldn't recommend that being for your very first time. This was my second light up bag that I did, and it worked out. But it definitely was a little bit of a headache. So if you choose to go that route and put it in a flap, I will help you. Don't worry. But fair warning, it is a little more difficult to do that, to figure it out, so that way you're not accidentally sewing over your lights and trying to get it from point A to point B. Other bags, this, like the Erica Bowler is an awesome, by Ora Rosa, is an awesome bag. Again, binding, super easy. My sample bag, like I said, Lynn Sport mini backpack, binding. Super easy to do. That's what I'm bringing to the class. And I grabbed a couple random patterns that I thought would be, that are birthing, but totally doable for this. There are, you can pick, it doesn't matter. Binding, birthing, doesn't matter in the bag. Drop-in lining, same thing. I tend to not do very well with drop-ins, but that's just me. Everybody's different. So pick a bag that you are comfortable and confident with making. That's the first and foremost part. When it comes to the technique, I got your back on that part. So another option that would be a good one, and I made my own little template where it's just one big piece rather than the split. And then this one's in the folder. So it is the Bonnie Bucket by Swoon. That gives a big old honking area for your lights to work on. Like, so you have a very large area. You can put it in different places. You can still put a zipper pocket above it. And then if you wanted to put a zipper pocket above it, and then you can put the battery pack into that. So there's multiple ways to figure that part out. So Bonnie would be a good one. Another option, if you change their handles, I know this, I didn't realize I grabbed two Swoons, is the Annette, because if you have a nice panel working area. If you change where the swoopiness goes and you just did like little buckle things or however you want to do the handles, but if this, as long as you have a nice working area for your design, and especially because, well, for if you're coming to this class, you need a minimum of a 6.5 by 6.5. Like, this is the smallest up-down workspace that I would recommend you bringing for a bag, is the Catalina. But it's totally your choice on bag, and it doesn't matter it's just as long as you have the working space for the ducky design, and then we'll make it work from there, and then getting the lights in and putting them into place. I think that, and then for tools, if you want to bring a marking pen for your outer material, like I will be bringing Sharpies to do the lights part. But so rewind, backtrack. We're going all the way back to basics on this, because not everybody owns a Cricut, ScanNCut, Brother, whatever cutting machine you have, like people have. Not everybody has one. So I wanted to take this all the way back down to basics. I will have the ducky shape. The ducky shape will get traced, and then we'll stitch that down. So you don't need to have this pre-cut out. You don't need to worry about remembering to have that done, or if you need to, what you need to do. We're going back to like super basics, because I want to have a nice even platform. Because so giving a little early sneak peek, big sneak peek. So I cannot say her last name. Kim Okoza. I probably said that wrong, and I'm sorry. But the little Heartbreaker, there's two sizes. You have the crossbody backpack. You can do a crossover design, or the little Miss wristlet. Those are releasing on February 8th, so Wednesday, so not too far away. But so I did one as a light up, just to kind of showcase the light up. So on the inside, I went a little bit different because it's called the Heartbreaker. So it looks like a normal heart, but when you light it up, the heart's cracked. And so you can kind of see, like if I squish this down maybe, the right angle, you can kind of see a channel here, but it looks like a broken heart. So I was going to use my Cricut to cut out their permanent vinyl to be able to be my design to put the lights behind it. But it wouldn't, my heart that I was using wouldn't fit this quite right. So then I ended up drawing it and cutting it out by hand and then adding it. So I want that to be kind of like another technique to learn, because like if you only use your Cricut, but then you need to do a design that you need to do it by hand, this is another. So it's just, I'm just trying to showcase different ways of doing things, because just because I do the lights this way doesn't necessarily mean it's the end all be all, the magical right way of doing it. Like, there's multiple ways of doing things. The way I do it is just one way. And that's why, like, with tutorials, kind of, sorry, going on a little squirrel channel here. Or, yeah. That's why there's so many tutorials for different techniques, doing different bags, because everybody learns slightly differently. And so what I do may not work for everybody. Might work for some people, works for me sometimes. It doesn't even work for me always, because I get myself confused. But it's like different techniques, different people teaching different things. So I want to have a nice even baseline for everybody. Hopefully it works out for everybody that's in the class, and we can all learn together and add this to our little repertoire of awesome sewing things that we can do. Oh, bonus thing, sorry, another little squirrel thingy. If you're doing sewing machine or renting a machine, you get the ducky shape. If you are bringing your embroidery machine, you will get the embroidery design for this. And on the back of the ducky, if you can see it, it says Sew Magical Expo. Ta-da! So that's a little extra bonus thing. If you are bringing an embroidery machine, you get that little extra little thing for it. So if you want to bring a marking tool for that, yay. If you don't, we can use pencils or figure that part out. And then if you're bringing a grommet, I will bring a couple hammers, so that way you don't have to fly with them or travel with hammers. I will bring hammers if you need that, because you also, if you get like the kit, it comes with like the little bottom thing and the little top thing to like hammer in. Tool wise, I believe that is all that's really necessary. So I just really need you and your piece of material that you're going to do. So that's lights. So that's my lights class. I know, long-winded on the lights. Ita pocket. So ita is a Japanese phrase. I had the definition in my phone. I can't remember what it is. But it pretty much is just a clear window to showcase your collection. And it's really big in Japan, and it's come over to the US, and now it's more of a global thing. And it's just a really cool way. So like if you're going to one of the amusement parks, or even if you're just carrying it around as like a daily use kind of bag or backpack, having that clear window, and then you could put in a pin board behind it, so then your pins can get attached to it. And so then it's kind of a peace of mind, because I know I've gone to Disney and displayed my pins on my backpack, and I lost a pin. That sucked. That broke when I was like, no, I love that pin. So that's where the Ita pockets come in, and you have the clear window, because if a pin falls off, it falls off in your bag, and you don't have to worry about it falling off or somebody accidentally or somebody purposely taking it. So it's just a nice peace of mind. So on the same backpack as the ducky light up, for the class, we're doing the ducky as well. So this is the back of the Linsport mini backpack, and so for this class, you will get, so this is just a sample piece. We're not doing a full bag or have a specific bag in mind. Do I have a piece? Nope, I don't have any of them cut up here. So you will receive an 11 by 11 piece of waterproof canvas. So, like, I don't think this is 11 by 11. It might be a little bit bigger or smaller. I don't know. But so blue and gray are the color choices for this. And so it's not going to be the light up. It will be, we're going to start with the slip pocket. A lot easier. So you get two pieces to be able to do the Ita window. I will have the duck shape as a solid cut out, and then the mouth part cut out. And then from there, you will sew that part down, and then you come in and then do the inner part, and then you'll cut away the inside. Because when I did it with cutting this out completely, it was really flimsy, kind of floppy, and made it a lot harder to sew this down. So I want to leave it, so the outside will be cut out, but not the inside. And we'll cut out the inside once we're there in class. Again, if you're bringing your embroidery machine for this class, for either classes, you need a 5x7 hoop and tearaway stabilizer. And then for the lights, for your thread, it just needs whatever color you want the Sew Magical Expo, whatever, because you're bringing your own material to coordinate with it, your color choice. So whatever you want to coordinate with it. For this one, yellow, of course, for the ducky body, orange for the mouth, and then whatever color, because this one also will have the So Magical Expo around the bottom of the ducky. So whatever color you want that to be, and then the extra part for if you're doing the embroidery class, you get the wing design on there. If you are just bringing your sewing machine and we're going to applique this down, there will not be the wing, unless you want to freehand the wing, but it's not part of the class, so it'll just be an opening. So yeah, you will learn to do the slip pocket for the class to turn that, and then you could turn that into, because I tried to make it like being 11 by 11, and you can place it wherever you want. So if you do have an idea of what bag if you want to add it to a bag, or if you want to put it as a panel for, let's just say, like the Tuesday tote. Oh, what's her name? Knotted Threads. Knotted. I think that's who makes it. The Tuesday tote. You could always, like, one of the options is like you have like the 3 pieces, and on that one tall front side, the slip pocket part, you can shorten that down a little bit, and it can be a slip pocket for the front of that bag. So there's options that aren't super all intensive bags or whatever, but that'd be a really cute tote bag, and then you can use it for your next So Magical Expo or for grocery shopping or whatever you want to use your tote bag for. So that's an option to utilize those little extra pieces. So again, technique, how to turn an E to a mega clear window, sorry, and then how to turn it into a slip pocket. The other option is to turn it into a zipper pocket. A little bit more complicated, but totally doable. So again, if you get stuck and you want to do when you do them in the class, if you try them again with different shapes, or like if you use one of my embroidery designs that I do for E to Windows and you get stuck on how to do it, again, I am there to help you. You can message me, we can video chat, we can figure it out. I will have more YouTube tutorials on how to do E to Window designs. I have some that I need to test. So more designs will be coming out. I just have a bazillion other things going on. So I'm prepping for So Magical, and then in March I'm going to Planet Comic-Con for an event, and then probably I think there's another, I'm trying to do a few more Comic-Cons this year, so yay. And then the Tennessee So Magical Expo is at the end of June, so I then prep for that. I still don't know what I'm teaching there. I might teach the lights again. I don't know yet. I haven't quite figured that out. I'm trying to I just want to get through this part first, and then we'll get to that part. But so that's me. Like, I've got a bazillion things going on, but I'm still trying to get new embroidery designs out there, new tutorials for the designs. And like I said, I will, once this So Magical is over, I will be doing video tutorials. I know there are people in Europe, or I think I remember seeing somebody on like the So Magical Facebook group that said they're from Puerto Rico, or like I have like a friend over in Hawaii, and I know she probably can't get over here as much as she would want to. So having the video instructions, it will be helpful, where like when you get to come to the class, yes, video, you can learn. There are people that learn from video. I can sometimes learn from video, but it's nice to be able to have that person there to ask your questions, like, and immediately get an answer for the most part. And that's the whole point and awesome part about So Magical, is not only you can go do all your shopping, so it's like, yay, shopping, don't have to pay for shipping, and you can just bring it all home if you have room is the key part. But having the teachers there teaching a variety of different things, techniques, lots of things to learn. But it's nice if you get stuck on a video, you're stuck with the information that they give you. Like, there's no more like, hey, can I get a little more detail out of that? It's like, nope, videos are videos. Sorry for the dogs barking. But that's all you get. Where getting to go to these So Magical Expos and learning from the teachers themselves, or just different people, you can, if you get stuck on a part, even if like written instructions or a video, you can ask your questions. You can get more information from them. And if you want to take notes to add it to, like, if you're working with like a pattern, or something like that. Like my friend Brittany, she's doing the steering wheel covers. If you get stuck on a part there and you have her pattern there, you can make a note in the pattern so that way when you go home and you want to make that again, you have your notes for reference. And so it's something that you may not understand or get. And then like my other friend Tammy, she's doing the Catalina. She is making this bag. Woohoo! But like if you get stuck on the instructions, because I know this is my first one. So I kind of like, there's a couple parts where I'm just like, wait, what? What am I doing again? Especially back here, I kind of got stuck. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Because it was like, yeah. But the nice part, like, there are videos, there are the written instructions, but having that teacher there, you can ask your questions on the areas that you get stuck. It's super nice to have that, and I am grateful for Kayla to putting this all together for everybody, because it's nice, because like I said, we all learn differently. Not all of us learn from video, not all of us learn from instructions, and sometimes instructions are vague, videos aren't, we're missing something and we need, it's like, for me, I know I sometimes get stuck like on the little pouch patterns. It's like, which direction does the outside and the inside seam goes? Because not all the videos or instructions say which direction things need to go. So it's like being able to have that in the class. It's like, hey, how does it, like, where do I need to go for this? And so, sorry, I just kind of keep rambling on about how cool it is to have actual instructors or people to ask the questions where you get stuck. But that is my So Magical teaching classes. Those are what I'm going over. And yeah, sorry, I don't really know what else to say. But it's like, as you can see, I'm a goofball. I'm a dork. I tend to ramble. Yeah, but it makes it fun. It makes it interesting. I'm really excited for this. I am nervous. I just hope it it goes as smoothly as I hope, because I know like these are time consuming, and it's not so much the sewing of that part down, but doing the lights. It's time consuming, and it can. And oh yes, sorry, one more thing about the lights class. If you want to, bring some thimbles, or I know there's some quilt shops in the vendor section that will have thimbles. If you want a thimble, bring a thimble, or bring a little finger protector, because there's been many times I stabbed myself. So if you want to protect your fingers, bring little finger guards or thimbles, whatever you want to do. So that's my warning for the timeout, pause, wait. Sorry for this class. But other than that, I hope if you had any concerns or reservations about taking either class, I hope those questions were answered, and I hope that if you were on the fence, that you jump on board and want to join in the class.